stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Oh, it's Adult August, week 2. Do you like journeys? Hey, let's go on and on. We got a disclaimer off the top of the tape that says, hey, no animals were hurt during the making of this movie. You see animals getting hurt, it's a simulation. And that's the thing about disclaimers. I never would have thought animals were getting hurt during this movie, but now, not so sure, because we start in Africa and a bunch of wild animals are getting gunned down by guys with machine guns. They massacre an entire family or tribe of elephants. They take out chainsaws, start cutting off the elephant tusks as this baby elephant mourns its dead mother. Baby of mine. Some Sean Connery looking guy shows up with a machine gun of his own, and now he mows down the poachers that mowed down the elephants. There's bodies atop elephant bodies. He straight up murders these poacher f***s, but he leaves one alive. He motions him forward, and the guy just stands there shaking, staring at Sean Connery's gun. Then we go to black before we see Connery paint the floor with this guy's braids as well. God damn Disney. Best opening sequence yet. My palms are sweaty. We get the title sequence, A Far Off Place. 6 minutes in, we got a dozen dead elephants, half a dozen dead people. You better believe it's Adult August, people. Let's do this. First up, Reese Witherspoon. Also, see, this is what I mean. Adult August. This is why I put my child to bed while I'm watching these tapes. Murdered elephants, murdered poachers. Oh, and based off the book, A Story Like the Wind. A story like the wind, does that mean it blows? Don't laugh at that, you're better than that. Okay. Because you know what? This is already awesome. I've never seen another Disney movie that starts with just mass slaughter. We get a silhouette of a boy as he hears audio of former wars in his head. That's not good. He's meditating, but all he hears is sounds of death and destruction. We pivot. There's a white lady helping some African black folks. She's all like, nah, woman, you don't need to fetch water from the well no more. Just go turn on that tap. Little Reese wants to go spend a day with a friend of the family, the Sean Connery poacher murderer guy, and her dad is like, yeah, no. She argues. Next, we get a voiceover. Africa. First impression. Bone dry and blowing dust everywhere. Is that Africa? Or Saskatchewan? That's where I live. Some rich, snobby, white teenage boy arrives, and he is not happy to be in Africa. He's hoping there's a satellite dish or at least a VCR. Hey now, this is Harry. Harry knows what's up. He knows all about VCRs. Teenage Harry is coming to visit. He wanted to spend his vacation in Utah skiing, but instead his dad convinced him to come to Africa. So Harry is a spoiled American kid, and his dad is friends with Paul and Elizabeth Parker, who are wildlife commissioners fighting African poachers and parents of little Reese Witherspoon, whose name is Nani. Got it? Got it. Harry's dad is like, I told Harry he was coming with me to Africa, but I hope I didn't twist his arm so hard. I broke it. Weird thing to say. It's like a disclaimer. The family are about to blow something up, but Harry, with his Walkman on, walks right into the path of the explosives. Reese Witherspoon runs and tackles him just as the explosives go off, and we almost got Reese's Pieces, right? If she exploded. I'm like 10 minutes in. I feel like I'm on fire today. Am I on fire? I feel like I'm on fire. We meet Ricketts. He's one of Reese's dad's friends. Does that make sense? He's one of the, oh yeah, Reese's dad's friends. For no reason at all, they tell us the Kalahari Desert is 20 miles west from where they are. Reese tricks Harry into eating something gross. I think it's pate. But in like a bite the soap far of a moment, the white kid from New York stares her straight in the eyes and keeps eating it, totally making her look like a Reese wants to go with the poacher killer Connery guy, who is openly bragging about how he's, quote, bagged 120 poachers now. Doesn't that make him like one of the top serial killers of all time? Anyway, he gives Reese a compass. It was his father's. His father gave it to him, and now he gave it to her. And one day she can give it to her firstborn and tell them about him. And she's like, tell them about yourself. Yourself. There's a lot of foreshadowing here. At night, it's a party and people dance around a fire. The dad is mad. This lunatic keeps killing poachers. The borders were shut down, but the poaching continues, so the ivory is being stored somewhere until they can safely move it. This is, this is a solid plot. Oh, his friend Ricketts is like, I don't think you know who you're dealing with these poachers. Let it go. But the dad can't, and methinks Ricketts is secretly a bad guy. Harry gets ready for bed by spraying his area with bug spray and cracking a beer. My man. Reese is writing in the tiniest diary I've ever seen, and Harry spies on her as she gets dressed and sneaks out into the night. Harry is going to get to the bottom of this. And by the end of the movie, he's probably going to get to Reese's bottom as well. That joke didn't nearly sound as dirty in my head. I'm sorry, that was gross. I flew too close to the sun with that one. I'll do better, folks. I'll do better. I didn't like that. That didn't feel good. She sneaks out and starts doing whatever the hell this is. She finds some Aboriginal dude who was knocked down. He's yelling, "Cave!" So she limps him to the cave. I think that's the guy that was having like the audio flashbacks before. His name is Zabu. Zabu hears something coming and he raises his like gun or bow and arrow. I can't tell what it is because this movie is so dark when there's a night scene. Like my analog TV is just a black screen right now. Anyway, he raises his weapon, but it's Harry. Something is up with Zabu. He has some baggage up here. And, oh, a leopard! A leopard got him and tore him up. They get into the cave and Harry sees cave markings that he estimates are 1 million years old. Good on you, Harry. Reese starts grinding roots and leaves in water, and Harry offers, this guy needs antibiotics, not voodoo. Zabu has a vision of doom and he wants them all to sleep in the cave tonight, and Harry's like, nah, but Witherspoon's like, are you scared, city boy? No one challenges Harry like that, so Harry spends the night in the cave with Reese and Zabu and the dog. Noni Witherspoon wakes up to the sound of gunfire. It's probably those poachers at it again, so she runs back towards the house, and there's like fun, playful suspense music. She watches and some men leave the house laughing and shouting. She sees these bad guys like loading some of their stuff into trucks, and holy her parents are dead. Those dudes murdered her parents. They blew away her parents and Harry's dad. They murdered all 3 parents. They're all laying in pools of their own blood, blown away. It's adult August. My 7-year-old is upstairs fast asleep, and I'm watching a non-cartoon Disney-sized family execution. Reese is up in the rafters brooding and observing like 1997 Sting, and these, I assume, poachers are like, we looked everywhere for the kids and couldn't find them. Now they're just ransacking the house. They're shooting anything and everything. Reese goes MacGyver commando and does what any teenage girl would do after American poachers or African poachers kill her parents. She rigs explosives to all the vehicles, and multiple explosions kill like most of these poachers. Now the teenage girl added another like 2 or 3 deaths to this body count. But the main poacher survives. They vow revenge. She runs back to Harry, who overacts yet can act, and he's like, "What's wrong? Talk to me! You don't understand. They're all dead." Reese runs somewhere to get a radio as the bad guys pull up in a jeep and spread out trying to find the children to kill them. She gets to Samuel, the dude that has the radio, but he's also been killed, and the radio smashed. Harry is weeping in the cave as Zabu babbles something at him. I think it was supposed to be inspirational, but like, dude, just let him deal. Reese is like, we gotta run. And Zabu says, you gotta follow the wind. And she's like, we need to listen to him because he saved our lives last night. He can see the future, Harry. Poor Harry. This is a lot. This is a lot for Harry's first 24 hours in Africa. Zabu spies on the poachers. The poachers have their own Aboriginal guides who claim the girl is going towards the Kalahari Desert. And the poacher's like, nah, the girl was born and raised here. She knows better than that. Zabu runs back and is like, we gotta bounce, queen. So the 3 of them and the dog set off towards the desert where the poachers don't think they're actually gonna go. She tells Zabu to leave them as they're not looking for him. But no, he's coming. They trek towards the desert. A bunch of elephants come. Zabu calms the elephants and is like, the elephants will join us. And Harry's all sassy, like his dad didn't just get his head blown off a few minutes ago. But not far behind is the poachers and the trackers. But the tracks are suddenly gone because the elephants are walking behind the trio, destroying their tracks in the sand. That's good stuff. The Sean Connery guy is trying to radio the family and he can't get through. He knows something's up. The elephants' names are apparently Fleetwood and Mac because after a while, they go their own way. And Harry says, thank you to the elephants. He's starting to get it. They're at the edge of the desert now, and the nearest town is 2,000 kilometers across the desert, and Harry starts freaking out. Why didn't you tell me it was so far? She's like, if I told you how far it was, you wouldn't have come. You don't know anything about me. Yes, I do. You're a scared American city boy. We can do it. It's morning. They set off. Man, I just realized I'm terrified of the desert. Like, I've never been, and I don't want to go, and I don't like it. They're walking, and Harry tries to be a gentleman, And Reese keeps throwing it back in his face. She doesn't need a man. Harry's like, Zabu, she hates me. And then the dudes have a moment where they talk about girls, and Zabu says, a woman like that, you can't admire for her flowers. You have to admire her fruit. I think he's saying she has a nice but I'm not too sure. Sean Connery and Ricketts show up at the place of the massacre. Connery looks over the death and carnage and lights a smoke, as you do. The Sean Connery guy finds his compass smashed to bits. He holds it up, and then that circle dissolves into a shot of the hot sun. That was neat. As the three journey across the desert, the first animals they see, vultures. Amazing. A plane flies overhead, but doesn't quite see them. And she's like, wait, it could be the poachers. Don't wave your arms, Harry. So they hide. She's worried that they will see the footprints. So Harry has an idea. He tells Reese to take off her clothes. Not the time, dude. Not the time. But then he stuffs their clothes full of hay and makes like fake Reese and Harry. He lays their fake selves in the middle of the desert like they collapsed. And then the plane comes back around. He sees them lying there. And the poachers do a slow flyby. They lean out and they shoot at the bodies with a machine gun. Like they empty rounds into the clothes and sand flies, and they think they killed the passed out kids. Who's shooting the kids from the plane as well? It's Ricketts. I knew he was bad news. Satisfied, the kids are dead. They fly off, and the kids in their underwear cheer from the bushes. The sun is setting, and they start a fire. Now she's still kind of a bitch, and she reads Harry's journal aloud and laughs at him like, amazing, thanks lady. Zabu sticks a straw in the ground in the desert, and he sucks until water comes out. And I mean, I can't say that wouldn't happen. I have no idea. I'm just suspicious. He gives everyone water. The kids are happy. They share some laughs. Harry gives Zabu his Walkman and tries to explain TV to him, but the batteries are dead in his Walkman. Throughout this, Witherspoon giggles at nothing. Anyway, they all end up laughing about nothing. And, hey, remember when our parents got betrayed and shot, and then that guy leaned out of the helicopter and tried to murder us as well? Ha, that was today. Holy crap, no, it's been 2 months. Ricketts is trying to get the Sean Connery guy to give up the hunt. It's over. He doesn't listen. He's going to find the tusks and the killers. Okay, it's been 2 months. These kids have been walking through the desert for 2 months. Come on now. Zabu is teaching Harry to hunt with a bow and arrow. He tells Harry, you only kill to eat, and you only kill when you must. Harry steals an ostrich egg and the animal chases him. The other two think this is hilarious, but this is actually horrifying on a few levels. Number one, they just stole that poor bird's unborn child. Mom is rightfully freaking out. Number two, ostriches are terrifying. Harry made Reese a Flintstones dress out of fur and tells her to try it on. He turns around while she starts to change, but Zabu just keeps staring at her. She's changing, and Harry like palms Zabu's head manually, turns it around. That's funny stuff. Throughout these 2 months, Zabu has been doing nothing but be Harry's wingman, and I don't know, it's gotta be lonely for this guy as well, right? With very little options out there. I don't know why he's so set on sitting Harry up. Harry and Reese start having a moment, but like it's so dark again, I can't see what's happening. Like my screen is pitch black. I think that's a nose. I don't know what's going on. The good guys are still looking for the stolen ivory, and they see a mine, but they don't investigate the mine because it's Ricketts' mine. Again, something is happening. Like there's some sort of drama, but I can't tell because my screen is black. There's suspenseful music and the kids are yelling, the dog is barking, a tree falls. I seriously cannot see what is happening. Just a black screen with the moon once in a while. They seem to be safe now though, whatever that was. Now someone comes to collect the ivory from Ricketts. But then one of the bad guy pulls out a solid gold bracelet that says Nani on it. He found it just a few days ago by a bush. Ricketts tells the ivory buyer, I'm sorry. There's a small matter I must attend to before I can let you inspect the merchandise. The guy storms off. Ricketts asks his main henchman, he goes, did you actually go back and bury the kids' bodies as I instructed? The guy hesitates and then goes, yeah, of course I did. And then Ricketts shoots him out of the helicopter. I like that guy. I like the actor. He was the perfect amount of smarm. They have a biblical moment of doubt in the desert, but they agree to keep going. And then Zabu gets bitten by a scorpion. He's going to die. Actually, they're all going to die from the elements. Zabu is done, and the wind is starting to kick up. They see a mirage of the Sean Connery guy with his gun, but the music kicks in, and the helicopter comes zipping around the bend. And just as Zabu is about to die, all three start like rhythmically thumping their chest. Like the Saskatchewan Rush scored a goal. We do that Wolf of Wall Street thing here. Hashtag Saskatoon Rush. Go Rush, go. They evoke the spell, and the wind starts whipping, and the helicopter can't shoot because there's a sandstorm. They shoot at the kids, they miss because of the sandstorm. They shoot, they miss. The sandstorm is too intense for them. The helicopter has to go. This is a truly terrifying. This is what a sandstorm is actually like. The kids just succumb to the storm, and the swirling brown haze turns to black as the storm blows over and it's night. In the morning, some new children find the kids' bodies, and everyone wakes up at the hospital. Harry and Reese are okay, but Sabu's in a bad way. The doctor says he'll be in for a couple of days. He's had an allergic reaction to the antibiotics. Reese scoffs and goes, white man medicine. Not the time, Reese, not the time. Sean Connery guy comes to see them in the hospital. She's like, did you get him? Get who? Ricketts! John Ricketts! Oh, Connery is gonna hunt that Ricketts. They blow the doors off Ricketts' little mine, and yeah, it's full of ivory. This is where it's been stored. Why did he bring the kids here? This seems dangerous. Reese is like, these are animal corpses. We need to bury them. So she starts wiring explosives all around the mine, and Ricketts shows up with a gun. Reese starts a tusk avalanche that covers Ricketts, and it sounds like bowling pins. And I mean, I don't know that that's not what it would sound like, but I'm skeptical. She's gonna blow Ricketts' head off now with her gun. She wants to revenge her parents, and Harry talks her out of it, but nah, girl, do it. They make him watch, though, as they rig the explosives in the mine, and then he's like, no, you idiots, there's millions of dollars of ivory in there. Ah! Ricketts breaks free and starts running in there, trying to put out the, like, the whatever, but it explodes. And later, Harry's getting on a jeep to go to his plane to leave to America, and now Nani warms up to him. They make out, and she's like, well, see ya. And Harry's like, no, what the f, girl? And she's like, no, don't look back. Just keep going. And poor Harry kind of goes back and forth. He doesn't know what to do, and the jeep's honking, so he hops in the jeep and drives away. Reese is sad, but twist! Harry stayed. Yeah, he stayed. Yeah, and the Ricketts got blown up in the cave. He tried to put out the fuse, was the word I was looking for. You know, oh yeah, he stayed for Reese's Pieces. And that joke is still icky. That was my closer, and I blew it, and, you know, that's fine. It's a bad joke. For the record, the Sean Connery character's real name, Colonel Mopani Theron. I don't always do this, but I checked what Wikipedia has to say about the movie, and am I ever glad I did this time. Walt Disney Pictures released the third Roger Rabbit animated short film Trail Mix-Up theatrically with A Far Off Place. No, not that. No one cares about that. Film critic Roger Ebert criticized the plot and the level of violence, awarding the film 2 stars. He singled out the film's premise, which requires the characters to cross 2,000 kilometers to find help. Quote, 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 as perhaps the only American film critic who has in fact crossed the Kalahari Desert twice, I could have saved them a lot of trouble. There were dozens of towns and villages within 100 miles of their starting place, and Cape Town itself would have been less than 2,000 kilometers away. Oh my God, that is the humblest of humble brags I have ever read. And I don't want to shame anyone for their body type or level of fitness, but him? Him? He crossed the desert twice? Oh, did he think it was a desert with 2 S's?
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance